That trip to Pick and Pull was about as useful as the G in lasagna. Well, we're celebrating today on the 89 Garage because thanks to you guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers this week. Just a quick disclaimer. This video is long, and the reason it is long is because I had a lot of struggles along the way, and I didn't think that leaving stuff out was in line. I don't know what words I'm looking for, but it wasn't in line with what I've tried to show you on this channel. What I've tried to show you is that there are struggles, and you're going to go through them, and if you keep at it, keep troubleshooting, you will persevere. So just keep that in mind while you're watching this long video, that's kind of my goal, is to show you guys that everybody struggles. It's okay. Keep swinging for the fence. I want to start out this video by thanking BSG for sending me a couple stickers. I'm going to throw one of these up on the cabinet right now, right next to Sleazy's and my other favorite channels. I will put a link to both those guys' channels down in the description below. If you haven't checked them out yet, go over there. They both got some pretty cool stuff going on. We said that we're going to do a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So I am contemplating on what we're going to do right there, and we'll do something soon. Today is going to be another Frankie day. I took Frankie for a drive the other day, and I remembered that the steering wheel squeaks horribly bad when I turn. Oh, this steering wheel squeaks. I don't know if there's a bad bearing in the steering column. If so, I have a couple spare steering columns sitting over here on the shelf, or maybe it's just, I don't know that it's still called a clock spring on these, where the contacts are for the horn and the cruise and all that stuff. Maybe those are squeaking. So today I'm gonna take that steering wheel off with you guys, and we're gonna try to investigate what's making the noise. I've been in other Fox bodies that make this same noise. My car does not have an airbag. I don't know if yours will be identical to this, if you're experiencing the same squeaks. I just want to throw that disclaimer in right now, but I'm going to guess it's pretty similar. I'm going to get my steering wheel puller out. Okay, so I just went and dug out my harmonic balancer while I was in there. But I also have this one that I totally had forgotten about. This is one of the very first tools that I ever bought. I wish this had a year on it. First thing we got to do is pull this off, and I probably ought to go undo the battery, because we're gonna have to undo this horn, and if those two touch, we're gonna hear some horn. Battery's disconnected, no horn. So the next thing we got to do is remove this bolt. Oh, first go around 15 mil. We'll see how tight it is. Oh, got it. Yeah, see how beat that thing is? No idea why you'd have to beat on that so much. Okay, I'm gonna set up this puller. Let me do that and I'll be back in. All right, guys, I got it all set up. Oh, we're out. Okay, now gotta figure out what in the Sam Hill's making noise. Sorry, bad camera angle. That's all I got. And I'm already seeing some damage on the back side of this steering wheel. I'll show you. All right, I flipped this thing over, and instantly I see we got a chunk of plastic missing there, and another one that's about ready to give right there. So what we'll do is clean this up. I'm gonna guess that is our squeak, because it does sound very audible towards the outside. So I think it's either like this bearing right here or something with this horn pad on the back, which is also running these too. Let's develop some kind of a way to take care of all this and come back in. What's really neat is when you think you're recording and you're not. So I was just looking at this. It looks like this horn pad is actually removable. And if you look, that's all coming apart. So maybe I need to get on LMR, find out if this thing's replaceable. We got us a part number. E7. Yeah. I'm gonna look this thing up and see. Looks like, I wonder if this is also the same part on an 86, because that's an 86 part number right there. So I'm gonna go get a Phillips and yank this apart. At this point, who knows what the name of this video will be, because I really don't know what we're getting into. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is our, I think this is our squeak. Look at that. Hopefully that's available. All right. I've tried to find this part. It is unavailable. The only way I can find it is by buying a whole steering wheel. I really don't want to do that. So I did a little research of all the wrecking yards, the U-pull yards anyway, that are in Salt Lake. There's really only 3 of them that are well known. So if there are more than that, I don't know. If you are in Salt Lake and you know of any besides Pull and Save, Tear Apart, and Pick and Pull, let me know, because I'd like to visit them. The particular vehicle I found is a 1988 Thunderbird, and it is in Pick and Pull. So, we're on our way. I've got what I believe are the tools we're going to need. Alright, I'm at the wrecking yard. Looking for this T-Bird. There it is. Let's hope this has what we need. I see a steering wheel. Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was easy. Oh yeah, that's even worse. Alright, I will. Man, look at that. Guess I'll just move around and see if there's anything else here that could possibly have one that's just not on their list. Okie doke, we are now in an 88 Crown Vic. I'm not too sure if this is the same or not. We'll know here in a second. Maybe. I'll take these screws out and see if it doesn't appear to be the same, but I don't know. This is completely different. All that is built right into the back of this, so swing and a miss. That trip to Pick and Pull was about as useful as the G in lasagna. I didn't find anything at all. So I'm headed to Tear Apart, and I'm actually meeting a friend there. He texted me, and we were texting back and forth while I was there. I'm headed there now, and he's going to meet me at Tear Apart. He needs some parts for his car, and yeah, hopefully there's something there that I can use. Rolling up on Tear Apart. This is actually a really nice yard. Oh my goodness. We came out okay today. Unfortunately, didn't really have what I wanted. So I don't think Frankie's gonna get put back together yet. However, did, if you can see back there, get a header panel for the F-150. Well, This is gonna have to finish up on a different day. I do want to show something though. I did get some new tires for the 8.9, so that's kind of cool. Those are, let's see, 205/55 Z16s. That's an upcoming episode. All right, it is the next Saturday, and I'm on my way to a wrecking yard again. Hope I have better luck this time, because I really want to get Frankie back together. We're at the wrecking yard. There's my buddy Ron right there. Every time he sees a transmission sitting on the ground, he's got to go have a gander at it. Isn't that right? Well, I was going to pull this one and see, but started pulling on it and busted the wheel and all that came out with it. Ron's over there on his way somewhere else. He's looking for another one. Well, that visit turned up empty for me. Luckily, we found a bunch of stuff for Ron's car while we're there, and I guess it didn't turn up exactly empty for me. I did find a possible solution. I mean, it's going to take some work, but I took the ring, whatever that thing's called. I don't think it's necessarily a clock spring, but whatever that thing's called. Got one from a Ranger. I think it was an 89 or 90 Ranger, and it is different. But I did pull it, and I'm hoping that somehow, some way, that I can make it work. Because it does have the 3 rings, just like the Mustang, but it's just a smidge different in the way that it works. So hopefully somehow, some way I can make this thing work. Basically what it's all boiling down to. So this is the Ranger piece, and then the piece we got out of Frankie. So the rings do appear to be the same. And this piece in the middle is about the same size. So what I'm thinking here is cut around this big ring right here. How, I don't know yet, because that feels pretty thick. But cut around there and just see if I can. My dog knows I'm home. See if we can somehow make this work. I don't know. After some very crude cutting, it's nice. After some heavy modification, this is where I'm at. I went ahead and I cut this ring out and then drilled those 3 holes, and we are plugged in over here. So let's get in the car and see if I'm going to be disappointed. One thing I'm just noticing right now, I've never been able to get this thing to stay straight, and that hub in the middle is off. It almost looks like maybe somebody took this thing apart at one point in time and maybe re-welded it. While I'm tightening this up, I'm just seeing if we contact those 3 okay. It's about tight. Let's hope this horn pad goes on. Okay. It's on. Are those in the right spot? Let me turn this on. I can't tell if that one on the end's touching. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, that one's not touching right there. The other 2 are. Alright, it's back together. I didn't video. That metal plate that's in there has an elongated hole. I did slightly, I'll admit, have to elongate it a little bit more with a bit, and I kind of tweaked it this way. It's making contact now. I'll show you the picture. I guess what I need to do right now is put the battery back on, make sure the horn works. I honestly don't even remember if the cruise works on this thing, so I'm not really that concerned about cruise anyway. But let's get out there and hook up the battery and honk. This thing does have kind of a wonky horn. Yeah, something ain't right. That's your basic fail right there. Piss. Alright, it's the next day now. And I decided to come out here and just kind of see if I could figure out what's going on. I ran jumpers across all these. I have 0 horns still. So, my next thought. We're going to just see if this fuse is blown. Horn cigar, lighter, 16. Where's 16 at? Yeah, right there. Hopefully I don't need a pair of pliers or something. It's blown. All right. Well, is that supposed to be a 20? Yep, it is. All right. Well, I'm going to install this steering wheel back on here and then replace that fuse. I don't know if I bumped something putting this back together or just what, but it might actually work. That lined up. I'm gonna go grab a fuse now. I just went and dug through my stash in the 8.9. Let's see. Still nothing. All right, with that panel off, I jumpered these two, blew the fuse. And it did sound like the horn just barely went when I did it.
What's been going on here?
This doesn't look good.
Murder?
Signs of a struggle here.
All right, so here's where we're at. The Explorer/Ranger horn contact pad just was not gonna work. So I came up with a piece on my 3D printer that I'm hoping will fix, or at least help fix. And here it is, this brown piece. I'm hoping that I can glue this in and it will support all this garbage here. I'm going to put it together. I'm just going to tape this in for right now, and I'm going to put this thing back together, see if I regain the horn. If I do, I'm going to pull this thing back out and glue it in. If you look right here, I'm pretty sure that was the squeak I was hearing when I was turning the steering wheel. That there is a mixture of super glue and baking soda, by the way. Works extremely well. There's a little break right there I fixed as well. And there was a crack right there that I fixed. As you can see here, I also have my fuse assortment here. So pop a... That was a 20, I think, wasn't it? Oh, there's a 20 right up front. Okay. All right, so I put that other one in there and popped the fuse again. I went in the house, sat down, and started reading my book here. I wanted to see if, oop, I got it upside down, if this circuit, I did have it right. I wanted to see if this circuit went through the multifunction switch, which it does not appear to. So what I think we got going on is, based off what I'm hearing, when I hit the horn, I hear the relay kick on, And a very, very brief second, hear the horn, and then the fuse pops. So I'm thinking we've got a problem after the relay. I mean, it's obvious that it's either the relay or after the relay. I do know that I have a horn that doesn't work. I kind of sort of think that when I had this thing apart, I found that one of them was unplugged, and I plugged it back in. We're gonna see if one of these or both of these horns are shorted out. Boy, she's beautiful under here. We're in the driver's side fender, and I want to say it was this one here that was unplugged, but I don't remember for certain. These only have a one-wire hookup. They source their ground from the frame right here. So I'm just going to run my meter here and against somewhere ground that, gosh, I didn't have any idea that was that ugly. All right, we'll just run these across the meter, see if what we got. I'm on the internet trying to figure out what the ohms should be on these horns. I did see one thing where if you have an infinite amount of, which, you know, that's how the meter was rolling, you know, it just kept going and bouncing all over the place. That's an indication that it is bad. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just order some new ones. These are the $15 jobbies off of Amazon, made by Bob Seeger. So I'm going to get back under here. As far as I remember, they both mount to the same bracket, which is held in with just one bolt. I'm not going to climb under there and set up the camera and all that crap. All right, I got these mounted up here with the brackets that they came with. I had to put these 1/4-20 nuts on there. For some reason, they did not come with them. I did look in the other box because I did order 2 sets of these. That also does not have one. So I ran the ground underneath those nuts and just actually used the factory. That blue wire is factory, and it all turned out great. It all fits well. Wound up using one of the bolts that was holding one of the horns in, and just mounted both of them off of that. Turned out really good. I like it. All right, back in the car now. I did mount those both, and they were pretty simple to install. I just have one complaint. If you're going to put 1/4-20 studs on that to mount it with, maybe you ought to include some 1/4-20 nuts with it. Luckily, I had a few, and anyway, we're hooked up. Just hooked up the battery. Just got in the car. Hoping and praying that this thing works now. Here we go. Yes! That sounds quite a bit better than it did before anyway. That is fantastic news. So, I can start putting the rest of this thing back together. I got to take the wheel back off so I can glue that piece that I made on the back of that. And, oh, we're about back together. All right, so I got the steering wheel back apart, and this is about to go on, this little deal that I made. I really hope this works out all right. It seems to be going exactly where I need it to. Fantastic. I am very, very happy. Just 1 second, and I'll bring you guys in. So once again, this is just a little Permatex clear adhesive sealant. I have black RTV and all that stuff, but I figured this would probably work a little bit better than that. And here we are. That's about as good of a fix as I'm going to get. It does have one of these in there. This is an experimental piece that I made. I tapered these edges. That one actually wound up warping a little bit right there. Not too hard to fix that, but anyway, sometime tomorrow I'll get this thing back on the car. We know the horn works now. So far, so good. I'm back 2 days later. This thing here seems to be pretty dang solid now. You know, before I could push this around, had a lot of movement. I think that our fix is going to work just fine. I'm about ready to slap it back in. One thing that I did, I just kind of let this happen because that came through, and then a couple spots here where it was missing some stuff that came through, and I thought, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. So I let it go. We're going to go ahead and slap this thing back in now. And the only thing I got to do is change the fuse back to a 20 amp. I left the 15 in there because I have a plethora of 15s and I didn't want to keep blowing all the 20s. I quickly threw these covers back on. If you're wondering how these things go, there's a tab that goes behind there on the bottom. And then it's got these other two tabs that go over the top of this metal plate. Same thing over here. Tabs that there. And then a couple that go on top. It doesn't fit worth a crap if you don't get that right. So anyway, I still think that this steering wheel's been taken apart at some point in time because that hub is welded crooked. I could be wrong. In fact, maybe I'll in a minute, but I'll put it in the video right here in a minute. I'll take the one off to 8.9 and just see how that lines up, just out of curiosity. All right, we're in 8.9 now. Pardon all the dust. This thing is very, very dusty in here. It's been a minute since I got in here and cleaned it. Huh. Well, I guess I can't really tell, but it does look way in the heck better. Overall, kind of weird it's rusty. All right, hopefully that stays put whilst I start this bolt. Give her some beans because we don't need that, you know, coming apart. Okay, she's back in business. I just need to get all this stuff back up in there, get these covers put back on, and we'll be right handy. Okay, we're pretty much back together, except for this fuse situation. Swap this out for a 20. Still good. All right. It keeps raining and snowing, and I don't want to take this out in it. So we're going to go ahead and test this thing in the garage, turn them back and forth, see if my squeak's gone. That was the whole purpose of this video to begin with, so let's hope that it worked. Yes, indeed. It's gone. I like it. I'm happy. Mission accomplished. This will conclude this episode of the 8.9 Garage. I'm sorry it was long, but I really wanted to show you guys all the struggles that I went through on this. That was a lot of crap to go through to fix a squeaky steering wheel. You guys have yourselves a wonderful week.